I got almost every Saints Row Get Out of Hell achievement in about 12 hours. Saints Row is a game where the main protagonists Johnny and Kenzie have a squad of homies that generally fight back against evil rulers in wonky and cinematic ways. Get Out of Hell is a shorter version of the original 4 main titles. We start off by hosting a birthday party for Kenzie. During this, we use a Ouija board, and then I skip the rest of the cutscene because we're speeding through the game. But to summarize, the ruler of the underworld stole the president in an attempt to have him marry the underworld's daughter and bridge the gap between humans and the underworld. We use the Ouija board to open a portal to the underworld and set off on our journey to save the president. We meet a man named Dane who we don't like, but we eventually make a deal with in exchange for supernatural powers like super speed and flying. He also gives us every optional objective in the game right off the bat. After learning how to run and fly, we unlock Fallen Angel. There are 4 main quests, which are essentially to meet up and recruit the main faces of the underworld, like Shakespeare, Blackbeard, the twins, and Vlad. We choose our first quest, which leads us to Blackbeard on Queen Anne. We see a blue collectible called a soul fragment on the highest sail. Upon standing there to collect it, we earn Saint's Creed for standing on the highest point of the ship, and then we help Blackbeard fend off his ship to win over his trust and gain him as an ally. We then start collecting a bunch of soul fragments and soul clusters because they're used to upgrade our supernatural skills. We managed to collect 5 in a row without touching the ground, unlocking cluster luck. We start our next quest, which is to recruit Shakespeare to our posse. Shortly after doing so, we collect more fragments and collect our 100th fragment, unlocking Soul in 1. To be fair, these things are scattered literally everywhere on the map. We spent a bunch of money and clusters on all the upgrades we could. After buying our first upgrade, we unlocked level 1 Demon. We continued to collect soul clusters because there's so many it's actually bothering me, and it will help us in the long run. Along the way, we managed to be airborne for a total of 10 minutes, unlocking the Wings of Angels. We completed our next mission, which was to save Vlad from jail. After doing so, he teaches us how to use our aura ability, which surrounds us with arcane energy. We keep collecting souls and eventually sit in some lava AFK, but unlock Soft Shoe for living 10 seconds in lava and Extra Crispy for losing to lava. Currently, we're a quarter way done and only an hour into the game. There's so many collectibles in this game, not even including the soul clusters and fragments, which there are 1,000 of. We learn about tomes, which are dialogue collectibles, scenery collectibles, which are also extra dialogue collectibles, glyphs, which unlock treasures for each area, and martial grounds, which are essentially fast travel points. For the martial ground, we need to convert the stones to arcane power and then fight off the Archduke that spawns. We finish him off with a melee, unlocking Put Up Your Dukes. We find an altar and have to fend off waves of enemies to unlock a new power. During this, we sprinted at a vehicle and sent it into the lava, unlocking Out of the Frying Pan. For all the mayhem we've caused so far, the underworld is not too happy about it. He starts spawning in homing missile launchers around the map that we need to destroy if we don't want to be pestered every 15 seconds. We start doing this and eventually clear out Blackbeard's area of all enemy activity. We then head to the weapon shop and buy every weapon we can and upgrade our assault rifle to the highest level, unlocking the Devil's Dues. After taking out the missiles in the area, we start collecting all the souls. This time, we flew for a minute without touching the ground, unlocking Transcontinental. While we're fighting in an altar, a wave of imps come out and latched onto us. Having 5 latched onto us at once unlocked Hellboy. At this point, I'll get us up to speed on the story since I've skipped so many cutscenes without even mentioning them. As we know, the underworld ruler was going to have his daughter Jezebel marry the president. Well, she had no interest in the president and actually saw a wanted poster of Johnny. It was love at first sight for her, and she knew that this is the man that she wanted to be with, so she sought out to meet him. Upon finding him, she professed her love and wanted to help Johnny and Kenzie take down her father. She devised a plan to sneak into their lair, but she needed some time. We kept going along our journey, and the underworld ruler was even more upset with us. So much so that he ended up stealing every friend we've made along the way. We take some time to free them all, and conveniently, once we freed all of them, Jezebel has devised her plan to sneak us into the lair. The underworld ruler spots both of us on the way in and threatens to take both of us out. He says Johnny has to marry his daughter, or else Dane will never escape the underworld along with the president. But that's enough of the story right now because we need to grind out these collectibles. We got a majority of the souls and clean up the rest of the homing missiles. Along the way, we defeated our 150th enemy with the stomp power, unlocking footprints in the sand. We also completed all enemy activity in our second area, unlocking HE. While doing a flying side mission, we managed to fly 500 meters while on fire, unlocking Shooting Star. And during a survival mission, we managed to use our blast power to turn our 150th enemy into stone, unlocking Get Stone. Next, we bought the ability that shows us where all the collectibles are. This helped us, but when backtracking for collectibles, we ended up bopping our head into a roof for the 5th time, unlocking Raise the Roof. And now, for a time check, we're just shy of 4 hours of playtime and 70% through the game, but only 40% through the achievements. I'm not sure how this will play out, but these collectibles will definitely take me the longest time, I think. Shortly after this, we use the summon power and destroy our own minion for the 50th time, unlocking Impicide. We take a break from the collectibles and crash our own wedding by hitting the underworld ruler. This is the final straw, and he challenges us to a fight. Kenzie comes out of nowhere to join us, and we take down the underworld ruler. After this, we get the achievement, Satan Punches. We started going after some more collectibles and activities, but my game crashed for the 2nd time, so I decided to take a break. Luckily, we've gotten a large chunk of the collectibles throughout our playthrough before we even beat the game. With the collectible finder, we mainly needed a couple more soul fragments, some tomes, and the extra dialogues. Kenzie and Johnny had separate dialogue collectibles in every spot, but we unlocked Seraphim and Cherubim for playing each of the characters for 2 hours. We then hijacked a motorcycle and drove to one of our final control points. In this activity, there are 3 areas to control. We gain control by standing in a zone for some time. Once all 3 zones are in our control at the same time, we have gained control of the whole area. We end up doing this all on a motorcycle for the Terminal Hog achievement. While finishing up another altar challenge, we were using our God's Hammer. We ended up getting our 100th elimination, unlocking Nailed It. We then started grinding our supernatural ability challenges. These took quite a while as I had barely used them throughout the story. After using our Minion Imp summoning ability for our 100th elimination, we unlocked Purple Demons. We collected our last soul fragment, unlocking Soul Drain, for finding all these around the world. Since that was our last crystal, we were able to purchase our last supernatural upgrade, which unlocked Fell from Heaven. And finally, we completed our last activity, which gave us 100% ruling of the underworld, unlocking double hockey sticks. Now that we've gotten rid of all enemy activity in the underworld, I wanted to check my time, which in-game was roughly 6 hours. I thought this was pretty quick and that we'd be on pace to finish the remaining achievements in under 10 hours, but boy was I wrong. I'm gonna throw a bunch of achievements at us here, so buckle up. We collected all 64 tomes, which unlocked the Book of More Men. We found 75 barnstorming locations, which are tight areas we have to fly through, unlocking Barn Burner. We changed all 4 of our supernatural powers, unlocking My Dear Watson. We flew for 250,000 meters, unlocking Fly, You Fool. We also flew from one corner of the map to the other, unlocking Epic Flight Quest. We hijacked a comet, which is a small vehicle that implodes within 10 seconds of touching it, and drove it into our headquarters, unlocking Are You Crazy? We went into a torture fraud activity where we're a soul husk and have to cause as much damage to ourselves as possible. We managed to hit 4 different cars without touching the ground to unlock Let's Bounce. We found another comet and jumped on top of it and car surfed while it exploded, unlocking Gnarly Wave. And all of that only took about an extra hour and a half, bringing us to roughly 7.5 hours. But the remaining achievements were all grinding the same things. They were all elimination based off of different weapons, abilities, and upgrading all the weapons. I'll spare the specifics of every challenge as there were over 30 of them out of the 101 challenges in the whole game. Generally, every ability needed 50 to 100 eliminations, and every weapon needed 100 to 200 eliminations. I forgot to record this one since I was shocked I missed the pop-up, but we used our Cold Fire aura to eliminate 100 enemies, unlocking Oxymoronic. While summoning our own Spire minion, it launches spikes out of the ground and shoots rockets from above. While hovering in midair, we used our Stone Blast ability to destroy the rocket, unlocking Top Gunner. We managed to get to the max notoriety, which summons an Archduke, like the ones guarding the fast travel points earlier. We eliminated our 25th one for Hazardous Dukes. We used the Essence of Wrath, which is a store brand Ghostbusters weapon, and eliminate our 250th enemy, unlocking Shut Your Eyes. We eliminated our 1000th enemy using our abilities, unlocking Plague of Gat. We got 25 eliminations with each of the 7 deadly weapons, unlocking the 7 deadly weapons. We used the Armchair Mageddon and get 250 eliminations, unlocking Sloth Love Chunk. We then grinded enough money to fully upgrade every weapon for our last challenge, unlocking the King. Although the in-game timer says like 13 hours, it doesn't account for the 10ish times the game has crashed on me and we lost 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there. I think it was because we needed so many eliminations and every enemy drops an item in this game, whether it be money or their weapon. This may have easily overloaded the game, and once I used my vacuum stomp to pick up 200 to 300 money drops at once, that might crash it. Excluding that, all we have left is to sit in the game for 20 hours and then play co-op for 3 hours, but the game has literally no players on it. This is a cry for help, so if you have this game and have 3 hours to waste, check the bio for my link tree and head over to any of my communities, because I would love to perfect this game with you.